Okay, here we got a Bradford White M2 series 80-gallon water heater. Now you can't buy these anymore. You cannot buy 80-gallon residential 5500 watt water heaters anymore. Unless if you do, you gotta buy the new energy efficient heat pump models, the ones that have the heat pumps. So this unit was installed in 2012, and today's project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a heating element up here. Now, I always thought that this unit had two heating elements because it had two ports, but I recently had to change this heating element, which went bad, and I opened up this port for the first time, and I noticed that there wasn't a heating element or thermostat in here. All it had was this little cap. Right now, I went ahead and installed a heating element, and what I'm going to do is I went online and I purchased this Bradford White kit that has dual heating elements, and this will be a non-simultaneous, right? So that means only one heating element will be installed at a time. There's the number for this item. Now I could have bought. I mean, they sell these kits at Home Depot or Lowe's too, or Amazon. Generic thermostats. But the reason I got the Bradford White one was because I need this little bracket here. This little bracket goes here, and it's what holds the thermostat. So I went ahead and just got this. I was able to get this is about $68 on Amazon. I got this a little cheaper from another vendor on eBay. So I'm gonna wire this up, and we'll see how it works. So I'm gonna put the phone down, then I'll be back and I'll explain exactly what I did. Okay, we are back. I just finished wiring this up. All right, so what I did was I took off this access panel here, and this is the main power line. This is two 120 volt wires coming from a 30 amp breaker, 10 gauge wires. Okay, and so I undid that, and then I cut two small 10 gauge wires, one red, one black, and I connected them with wire nuts, and then I connected them up here because this is where the power comes into the thermostat. Now, originally, this just had two very long 10 gauge wires, right, that were connected up here to the main leads and went all the way down to the single element thermostat, which was this one. This is the old one that was there. So I wanted to reuse the existing wiring on this unit because this has very, very thick insulation all around the tub, and it's almost impossible to get wires down through there, So I just wanted to reuse the existing wiring. Excuse me. So what I did was I wired up this heating element following these wiring instructions. This is for a double element non-simultaneous single phase wiring. Okay, all you got to do is very simple. You got to just follow that wiring and you should be good to go. So this one in the wiring diagram, this wire is supposed to be blue just to distinguish it from this wire, but it doesn't really matter. This is not really polarized, so I didn't have a blue wire, so I just reused a yellow wire. Okay, then the existing red and black wires that were in here, I connected the red one here and the black one here. And then these go all the way down. And I connected the black one here. And then the red one, the red one only came onto here because it was providing power to the old thermostat right up here. I really couldn't pull the wire anymore, so all I did was I just used this coupler here to connect the main red wire up here, and then the red wire going to the heating element. These were the two original wires. Now, just a note, these are 10 gauge wires coming into here. It's got to be because it's a 30 amp breaker. The original two wires were also 10 gauge. And like I said, I didn't want to mess with having to snake wires through there, so I just reused it now. 10 gauge wire is thicker, harder to work with. So that was really the hardest part of the installation, just, you know, bending them and cutting them and stuff like that. So so all this is basically 10 gauge wire. Now, in these residential water heaters, they wire them internally with 12 gauge, right? So they go from 10 gauge to 12 gauge internally. So since I reused the existing wire, this is all like 10 gauge, except I just reused these original two wires down here. These are 12 gauge, and that's fine. That's fine because they're going from the thermostats. And then all I did here was I coupled a 10 gauge to a 12 gauge wire, basically like a downgraded the wire there, which is, you know, should be no problem. Yeah, so let me explain real quick how this works. So power comes into here, 120 volts, 120 volts, 240 volts total. This is non-simultaneous. That means that only one heating element is on at a time. So this will start heating up first. This breaker here and this thermostat will start heating up first. We'll start heating this heating element first. Once it reaches a temperature, it shuts down these wires, these terminals. So this shuts down, and then it sends power from these two down to the lower element, and that one heats up. And when it reaches temperature, that one shuts down, and then the cycle just